Hello, good morning. Might be in the morning when you're watching this, but I'm actually going to commit to something and I'm going to start getting more videos out. And I decided that 10 seconds ago. So, I'm going to probably do something similar. I might record a bit more of my training today and run you through that session. It's upper. Off the top of my head, I can't remember which upper session it is. I roughly do now, so that's cool. So I might run through that a bit later on, and what the session is, what I do. I might do like a voiceover, I might film it beforehand, and then I'll come back and I'll chat over it. That might work quite well. So I could do that, probably will do that. But it is Tuesday, the 10th of Feb. So if I'm right, I believe I am now just under 12 weeks out, if I do compete and if I can stay injury free, which is pretty cool. Just checked in with Tim. I will put my check-in there, and that's going to be rolling now for a little bit of time until I think it's done. Got a bit more condition come through, which is lovely. I think I spoke about last time that I filmed. Body weight went up a little bit after some high days, but not during them, which is a bit strange. I'm going to put it down to stress, so that's cool. Not really cool, but it's fine. Body weight then came back down. Saturday, when I last checked in with Tim, I was the same body weight which I was last Monday, and I was a lot leaner. So I'm like, sick, cool. So I checked in today, and the plan was, depending on how things are, if we don't really drop too much or we don't drop at all, we're just going to make some changes from today. I don't know the changes yet because I've only just sent the check-in. But body weight did drop to 210.4, so it dropped a good bit Saturday into Sunday. And then yesterday and today it's come back up to like 211.2, 211.25. So I'd imagine some changes are going to go in, which would be nice. Do definitely sort of just want to get after it now. Like, I remember when I started dieting in the summer, for some reason, like, anyone who's like had half a conversation basically will probably know that like I'm just absolutely sound to diet. I don't really care. Like, I do find dieting pretty easily. Like, even when I've dieted for like holidays in the past, I went on holiday like 2022, and I didn't really give much notice to like start a diet. It was like 5 weeks before. And I remember doing like chicken and olive oil 5 times a day, aside from post-workout, for like 3 weeks. Granted, is that a ridiculous amount of time? No, but when you've never really dieted before, I was like, yeah, I don't really care. I just want to be in some shape for a lad's holiday. Wasn't really in that good shape, but I was a bit leaner, so that was good. Like, I don't really care, but weirdly in the summer I just didn't want to diet, which is really unlike me. And like, I was thinking of prepping last year and I just could not be asked, so that's why it didn't happen really. I still had injuries and whatnot. In terms of injuries, but the good thing is that I actually really did kind of like want to get stuck in with this diet now. Not really cardio. Obviously, if I've got to do cardio, I'll do cardio. I just fucking hate it. But injury-wise, obviously my adductor issue, I feel, is pretty much back to normal now, which is good. Still going to be very wary of it. And I definitely am going to be a lot more cautious with my training, especially now all over my body. But definitely with my lower body, because I'm just like, right, I don't want something to come up again. Even if I can just spam VPC and TBR 500, I don't want to just rely on them, basically. So I definitely do need to start training a bit more like a bodybuilder, which I will do. But when was it? Friday? I think it was. Was it Friday? Yeah, it's Friday. Friday, flats and antidepressant, ran it for ages. Recently, I feel like I've got on with it really, really well. And I got pretty strong at it. And I was like, right, sound. So on the bar, like the legs, bars, arms of the machine, whatever they're called, maxed it out, had 6 plates on that. Then you could fit like one more plate, whether it's a 5 or a 10 or a 15 or a 20, on like the thing which you pull out to make the arms go higher or not. You'll here's a clip of it. That's me doing the 7 plate set. So yeah, I did 7 plates, got 3 sets on it. So 7 plates, 6 plates, and I did 5. And you'd think 5 should be pretty easy. And I was like, right, with 5, let's just get like a really, really good quality 12 to 15. Even though I just got like 10 on 6 plates, I'd like 5 or 6 or something. With 7, I was like, right, it should be pretty easy to get 15, but let's just make it a really good 15. And then on like the 2nd or 3rd rep, I just felt like something in my pec just popped a little bit, which is not ideal. And I've had the same thing before on a flat press as well, which the prime plate loaded flat press, like 2023, so like nearly 3 years ago. It just felt like something just kind of like popped out there, like almost like over contracted. So you can't really see from literally where my pec ties into my shoulder. So hopefully it's not too bad. It feels all right now. It actually feels fine now, to be fair. I did whack all of the BPC into UF100 that I still had left yesterday because I was like, right, I need to get this sorted. And that was all at money. So is it yesterday or was it Sunday? I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, I think it was like a couple of milligrams of each, maybe like 1 to 2 milligrams TF100, then maybe like 3 milligrams of BPC, but he's just whacked it all into the local area and just hope for the best, basically. So hopefully that's sorted. Hopefully that's a lot better now. And then I can start training potentially a little bit better and stay injury free. But no, happy with how I'm looking today. Got a busy day due to a couple of personal reasons. That seems really deep. I'm all right, but a couple of personal things going yesterday. So I did have to take yesterday. But yeah, quite a busy day today, which is quite good. I've already got, it's currently 8:26. I'm not going to name and shame people. I haven't got all of my check-ins so far today. We are missing, off the top of my head. To be fair, I thought it was going to be a lot worse than that. I'm missing around 2 or 3. That's not terrible. That's all right. Currently got 10 through. So yeah, I've got check-ins to do from today, which will be sound. And we have got a call at 11:30, which would be cool. So I've just started running an 8-week challenge, which if you guys will know, I ran a 12-week challenge last year. And I posted a video regarding the winner, essentially with Kai. We brought body weight down from 20 kilos, which is absolutely ridiculous. We eventually got body weight down to like 95 kilos from like 142. It was fucking wicked. So yeah, I'm running another 8-week challenge. Which is pretty cool. So I've got a call for that at 11:30, which is lovely. On top of that, I've got all my check-ins to do. I'll pop back in a bit and I'll chat you through any changes and whatnot and what we're planning to do. And yeah, it should be a pretty good day. But yeah, I will try and record a bit more of my training. I might give like an update in regards to what I've done. Or like what the changes that I've gone in from today's check-in, if any. There probably will be, but might not be. And then I will probably then just chat over training. Might just be like a bit of an update on me at the start. And then we go into a bit more like a session sort of run through. Because I don't want to make this like a 30-minute video. I have a bit of an update now. Might cap it out at like 20 minutes or so. Hello, good morning. Thank you very much for your check-in. If we're noticing that some lifts aren't progressing as we actually want them to be, we definitely can get a bit more from a progression front, and your training intensity is absolutely immaculate. There's not really too much issue with adding a little bit more food around the training window. It also means that we've got more food to pull away with when we begin dieting, so we've got even more room to do it, so potentially even the diet is going to be even more seamless. But I definitely think we can look to add some more food in around those pre-workout meals and around those post-workout meals as well. Right, hello, welcome back. It is the next day, because I had a few things to sort out yesterday. Thank God I didn't decide to do like a full day in the life, because that didn't really work, did it? But I thought what I'll do is I'll basically run through what my usual session, usual upper session looks like. I've got 3, so this is just one of the 3, obviously. And I'll basically just also go through the changes that we made yesterday off my check-in in the morning and what the sort of plan is going to be now. So, obviously checked in. The first thing I want to do is sort of change around my electrolyte balance, you get things into a bit more of like a better position to be. So salt was increased from 6 grams total salt to, which was 4 grams pink salt, 2 grams low salt, to 6 grams of each. Usually you might see a little bit of body weight like spiking when you do have more salt. With having more sodium in there, it's going to retain a bit more fluid. Didn't see that, dropped down to 210 flat today, so that's lovely. So that's not really too much of an issue. And then food was pulled to, I'll have my macros somewhere on screen, but it is going to be, to be fair, I won't, because I want to get this up a bit earlier. So it is 247 grams of protein, it is 58 grams of fat, 493 grams of carbohydrates on train days, which brings the total to 3,482. It's about 50 odd gram of carbs pulled there. Rest days is now 254 protein, 52 fat, and then 338 grams of carbs on rest days. So not like a massive amount's being pulled, but should be a good amount. That's going to change. So I do think, like with myself, I don't need to pull away like 100 gram of carbs to warrant a change. Like even like the tiniest of change will do a good amount. So I expect body weight now to come down quite easily towards like maybe 205, 204, 203, which would be all nice. We've also got Clen, which has now been bumped to 60 mcg from yesterday, so that is all sound as well. And I do find that the first few days that you do start Clen, you do feel a bit fucked. You do feel a bit like jittery and whatnot. Granted, that's all out the way now, so I feel absolutely sound. So that's brilliant. That's cool. So yeah, now kind of not foot on the gas because I'm still completely cruising down and things just aren't really that challenging at the moment. Aside from the fact of steps, I really don't like steps. They're really annoying, really boring. But still 10k is a lot better than like 15k, so got no issues there. Now, in regards to the session, I recorded a few bits. I will talk over them. First of all, at the moment, I'm not training my chest because I've got a bit of a niggle going on. It doesn't feel great. So yeah, basically yesterday's session was pulling arms. Sunday's session was pulling arms. Friday will probably be pulling arms as well. Obviously different sessions, but I've got in here, I've got some clips from like weeks before, so you can kind of see what I do in the normal session. So we start off, and I've also got the video which you're about to see on my laptop because I will otherwise just not get it completely lined up. So start off, we have got a dual arm NutriGrip pull down. I've got 3 sets here. First set is a 8 to 10, 8 to 12 sort of rep range, and then after that I go into a 2 working sets of a 12 to 15. So I'm not really trying to logbook my sessions anymore. I'm still just trying to go heavier where I possibly can and just make these movements feel really good. And I've actually stepped away a little bit from logbooking at the moment. I'm just feeling like I can get a little bit more by not being massively on it with, you've got to add a rep here, you've got to add a rep there. I'll go in, what feels good, I'll do that. And I'll just really, really try to push myself. I'm like, oh, I've probably never gone this heavy on this. Do I feel like I can do it? Yeah. And then I'll just send it, and it usually works all right. So what you'll see here is my top sets for things. So NutriGrip pull down. I then go into, this was a NutriGrip primal row. That's also broken now, but it doesn't always feel amazing. So right here I've got the chest supported Arsenal row, not the T-bar, which you'll see next to it. That's ridiculously heavy, and I don't really get on with it. But this chest supported Arsenal row, I actually find I get on with quite well. I don't sit down it, I just completely stand up, and it feels pretty good. And this is 4 plates. It feels heavy, but it feels pretty good. Then usually I will go into the Arsenal incline press, which again is pretty heavy. This is the top set here. I've got 2 sets on the row, 2 sets on the press. Is it 2 sets? Yeah, it is 2 sets. So that's what I usually do, 4 and 3 for both of those. 4 plates on the row, 3 plates on the row, 4 plates on the press, 3 plates on the press as well. I then have 2 working sets of a flat press fly, which was feeling amazing. I got this up to the stack and I was like, that's really, really good. But I can't do a fly at the moment. But I've been getting on really well with this at the moment. Again, just 2 sets here. It is an 8 to 12, 12 to 15, then an 8 to 12. So a top set is after the back off in a way. But that's usually feeling really good, and that is like the right upper body work for the session all done. I then have 3 arm movements. So I start off with a facing cable D-handle curl, just to try and bias the short head a little bit more. I'm keeping my upper arm ever slightly just in front of my arm, front of my torso, I should say. So a little bit more just to try and get a bit more out of that contractile range. So I've got 3 sets there. Again here, I'm not really logbooking this, I'm just trying to get a really good internal feel through my bicep. And if I feel like that first set has been quite high rep, I'll go a bit heavier, and then I'll go a bit lighter to finish off. I quite like that, almost having that first set as almost like an active warm-up, and then going a bit heavier, then finish off with a nice light set. Then I have an EZ push down. Again, I've been running this for a while. This has always been pretty standard. It's almost like a staple for me. Like any arm movements, I'll always say to people, always say to clients, like, what you feel that you get on with really well, just keep that. Just do that. Do movements with arms that you connect with really well. You don't need the fanciest thing in the world. So an EZ push down has always been absolutely fine for me. Always been sound. So another 3 sets there, same sort of thought process. If my first set ends up being a bit more high rep, I'll go a bit heavier. If it's in the like, sort of like 6 to 8 range, I'll go lighter, then I'll go lighter again. And they finish off with a dual arm facing away cable curl. So here I'm just trying to have my upper arms nice and behind my upper body, and keeping them there, almost things to drag along the floor and not really have too much upper arm involvement here, just so I can try and bias that length and range of the bicep a little bit more as well. But that is essentially the full upper A session, I guess, that there is. I might try and do legs at some point. My leg training at the moment is a bit like, not skewed, but like, it's going well, but all my compounds are towards the end, and it's not really the most fun at the moment. It is 2 compounds in one session, 2 compounds in the other, a bit of single leg work, a lot of isolation span, just so I don't get too much adductor coming into it, and just now trying to reincorporate some adductor work, but unfortunately the adductor in my gym is absolutely awful, which is great. So when I'm or if I'm training at Derby, let's say, it's a lot better to train there, especially when wanting to train my adductors there. But yeah, that's the session basically. So a bit of a different video than I posted last time. It's almost like a bit of an update, and then just here's what I do in my session. So hopefully you've enjoyed. Definitely going to try and get more of these out because I want to do more of them. So I'm going to try and get another one out within the next week, which I should be able to comfortably do. I might do another upper session. I might do a lower session. I've got legs today, which I probably can't film. I don't really have much time to film it. And then I've got legs with a client on Saturday, which again, I don't really have a massive amount of time for it. But I'll get another video out in the next week, I promise. All right. So thank you very much for watching. Any comments you want to, any questions you want to ask, feel free to drop down in the comments. I might reply. Obviously, coaching inquiries, link below. 8-week challenge is now live. You have got until the 23rd of February if you wanted to get in and learn more information about that. The link's in my bio, or just DM me. And as usual, the usual Full Ball Sports and Train to Lift and Apparel will be down below as well. So like, subscribe, share on your stories, and I'll catch you very soon.